Welcome back to another video from the Debate Room Podcast. This is episode 158, the NFL Week 8 recap. I think Week 8 recap. NFL season is in full swing. We almost done. We halfway done, basically. And we had a interesting slate of games. It wasn't the most, I feel like the season started off really on a really good note. A lot of great games, a lot of classic games or whatever, a lot of high scoring games, and now it's been a lot of blowouts actually. And games this week were not interesting. I think this is the second week in a row. Second week in a row, I feel like the games weren't that interesting, honestly. But we're here to talk about the Week 8 NFL, not schedule, but like what happened, the biggest headlines. We haven't done an NFL video in I think about 2 weeks, so it's definitely time. We've missed a lot of stuff that happened, and we won't be recapping all of that, but we will be just talking about Week 8 and just going forward. It probably honestly it will be a good time to do like a midway point video, like MVP awards, not standings, but a tier list. We should do that. We got find some time tomorrow to do that. Mid-season awards, mid-season tier list. I'm pretty sure people are gonna be doing that. It's basically mid-season now. 9 games left for everybody, so it's basically mid-season. So it'll be a great time to do that. So just keep that in mind, y'all. But and keep on the lookout for that video. Follow us on our social media platforms though, up at the top of the screen. That's where you get updates on when we release videos. If you don't see it on YouTube, like the video, comment how your team did this week and what you thought of their performance. So today we're going to talk about the Chiefs and Commanders Monday Night Football game. Why am I echoing like that? Damn. The Packers come back versus the Steelers. The Bears, they were on a roll. I think they won like 4 straight games, right? And then lost to the Lamar-less Ravens. Eagles are getting back in their groove. Blew out the Giants. Sorry, and they won 2 straight games. The Broncos are hot. They're leading the AFC West right now at 6-2. They demolished the Cowboys. They stopped one of the best offenses in the entire league. And then we have some contenders or pretenders. And then we have a Johnathan Taylor, would you rather, who looks like a MVP candidate to this point. All right, so let's get into it. Monday Night Football game. The Chiefs dominated the Commanders in the second half, scored 21 unanswered, I believe, to move to 5-3. Now, the Commanders did not have Jaden Daniels. They've dealt with injuries to Terry McLaurin, to offensive linemen, to defense. The Commanders have been ravaged by injuries, so I don't want to harp too much on them. They moved to 3-5. Their season honestly looks like it's probably over, and that's just due to injuries. Even though I'm not necessarily won some of these games, anyways, because their schedule got tougher, and stuff like that. But I just kind of want to talk about the Chiefs' performance. They won, I think, 5 of their last 6 games, and their offense looks pretty good. 28 points tonight, 31 points against the Raiders. So my real question is, are the Chiefs, as we know them, back to being contenders in the AFC? Well, they probably never weren't contenders, but are they the Super Bowl favorites right now? Like the Chiefs, as we know them, are they Super Bowl favorites? They got Rashee Rice back. Worthy came back from injury a few weeks ago and stuff like that. Kelsey had a vintage game today. Kelsey has actually been good this year. He's probably one of the best tight ends in fantasy. Max, I'm coming back. 2 wins in a row. We 3-5. CD's back healthy. Ibuka's healthy. Kelsey's playing good. I'm coming. No diddy. But listen. My question is, I'm sorry?
Got to start with a couple wins.
For sure. My question, though, is are the Chiefs the Super Bowl contenders at the midway point of the season? Max.
Are they Super Bowl contenders or Super Bowl favorites?
I'm sorry. Are the Chiefs the Super Bowl favorites at the midway point of the season? They're obviously contenders. So let me know.
You got it?
I was gonna start with you since you haven't been here in 2 weeks.
I honestly don't think anyone has a runaway chance to win the Super Bowl right now. I don't even know if I'd necessarily give anyone a favorite title right now, which makes me lean towards going with KC because they have Patrick Mahomes and they've done it before. Um, the Bills have had some growing pains. I think they look great this week, but obviously lost against New England. New England looks like a better team this year, but I'm not going to go with them. Baltimore, if they can get healthy again, if Lamar can come back again, the defense doesn't look great, but could you still rally with something there? I don't think. I know I've talked a lot about the Colts this year. I still don't believe it as a contender. They're obviously a great team. Don't believe it as a contender this year. I think there are a lot of great teams, especially out in the AFC. Looking over the NFC, I don't know who you have. So I guess with all that kind of going into effect, sure, I'll still roll with the Bills or the Chiefs as my number one team to win the Super Bowl. But I wouldn't be, if you could convince me that you think Philly can get it back together, Detroit's back up, if you think Green Bay is the team, I think there are a lot of teams kind of at that same level right now where they go through the ups and the downs of the season. Casey hasn't really been healthy, I feel like, all year. They haven't had their complete team all at once. So I think that'll still be kind of going into motion. I know we talked before the podcast. Q was saying they have some O-line issues right now as far as guys not being there and a little bit of shuffling going on. But you get Rashee Rice back. He's had great back-to-back games. Xavier Worthy's back. Kelsey's back. Everyone's looking good. The run game leaves a little to be interpreted sometimes. But for me, this game is more just a terrible matchup for Washington. I don't think Washington really, again, say what you want. I don't think they really stood a chance from the get-go. Backup quarterback with a bad defense, especially bad pass defense. I think Mahomes is bound to cut this team up. The physicality of KC, I think, would have taken it over anyways. But it's too explosive in this game to really, I think, pose any issues. To pose any issues that would really make me nervous about them losing this game. I don't really factor that much into how I think the Chiefs are. I think their offense looked good, but I don't think Washington's a great defense. We saw, obviously, Chicago just beat them a couple weeks ago, and they got beat by the Ravens this week. So there's a lot of fluidity in this NFL season right now. But I guess if you had to put gun to my head, I got to pick a team. Sure, I'll roll with KC, but I don't say it confidently right now. I think there are a lot of good teams in that same area as Kansas City in the NFL.
Damn, Devin Booker came back. The question is if the Chiefs are clearly
The
favorites.
favorites.
Yes, they're Vegas odds. They're the favorite for everything. Obviously, once they had beat the Lions, they pretty much should have been overwhelming favorites because you knew everybody was coming back. There's not a team that once you get into the tournament, there's not a team that you trust over the Chiefs. The Bills had an opportunity to try to keep themselves the favorite, but they squandered by losing 2 games. So now they're in a race with the Kansas City Chiefs for the 1 seed. Plus, they got to still run down the Patriots, who also have an easy schedule. Indianapolis, obviously, they could finish with the number 1 seed in the AFC, but if I'm Kansas City, if I have to go into Indianapolis for the AFC Championship game or divisional round, I feel super comfortable. So yeah, they should be the overall favorites. I think a lot of people online and the fake haters want to be, try to be right. If you predict the downfall every year, eventually you're going to be right. But this year wasn't it. They had their chance and everybody squandered it, and now the Chiefs are back. So yeah.
This team and their offense specifically is a force to be reckoned with. They're not the big play Chiefs, but they're a lot more methodical now, and they have the weapons to be methodical. One of the best screening teams in the league. But also Mahomes has hit these intermediate passes where 30 yards, 20 yards. There's been a little bit more big plays now that everyone is healthy. So they have that type of dynamism. That's crazy. They have that type of versatility in their offense where they can hit the big play, they can hit the underneath play. The running game has been efficient ever since week 3 or so. They've been really good in short yardage situations. Pacheco, he's come back to form. So as long as their defense can stop the run, and they can protect Patrick Mahomes with their offensive line, they are going to be probably back in the Super Bowl. Mahomes is playing MVP level football again after two down years in the regular season, and they look great. So at this point, I will probably bet them to win a Super Bowl, the Eagles, and we'll talk about them later, but they look good again, but like they're not like near where they were last year. And last year in the regular season, they were honestly weren't that great in the regular season.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I feel like it's the same story every year with them.
no, not really though, because last year like,
they looked utterly dominant. The 2020, what's that? 2023.
That's what I'm saying.
2022.
Like, and they didn't win. They didn't win that year, right?
Yeah, they didn't win that year, but they actually looked super dominant. And
But
then
last year, yeah,
they had a dominating defense, and Saquon himself was the dynamic force. So like he was doing explosive plays on his own. So that's what it was.
like there has been like a lot of turnover in the past. And again, I think there were times last year where you were nervous about that team. And I think that it's the same thing where it's like, okay, you're nervous about that team, but at the end of the day, in a one-game playoff situation with what you've seen the last 2 years, 3 years in the playoffs, right? Going back to when they lost to the Bucs for the last time, like that team can compete in the playoffs. Like they are, I think again, if they can get healthy, if the defense can figure it out, that's more my question because they're so young. But if Saquon stays healthy, like I think it's tough to pick against them.
I'd pick the Chiefs against that team.
the Eagles don't have a good pass rush. Well, not good. I'm sorry, they need another pass rusher. They
Brandon
still
Graham.
need.
No, they said it right the first time. They don't have good edge, but like they can't pass rush from the edge. Like they
Yes,
don't,
they don't have good edge rushers, and they don't have a cornerback too. So that's their flaws, but they're still probably the favorites in the NFC. We'll talk about them later.
I was gonna say, do you want to hop right? Why not just hop right into them right now? Is that bad? Switch it around.
I mean, sure.
We just started talking about them. We can just keep translating into it.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. The Eagles blew out the Giants in the rematch. They played early in the year. The Giants obviously upset them. Jackson Dart had that special performance. On this end, they blew them out. It was a controversial call in that game, and it kind of wasn't as much of a blow as it seemed, because if that play could have changed, it changes the whole momentum of the game. Now they definitely thoroughly beat the Giants, but for some reason it didn't feel like it was that much of a blowout. The Eagles offense was good, but it wasn't like smooth sailing to me, my opinion. So the Eagles have won 2 straight games. Their offense has looked much better than what it did previously throughout this year. Saquon Barkley are getting his explosive plays back. Over the last 2 weeks, he has had some explosive runs. So are the Eagles back to being the premier team in the NFC? Q.
I would not say so, and it's hard to like. I know like a lot of the discussion for this team, especially this week with AJ Brown being out, is they could do it without AJ Brown, him getting traded, or whatever the case may be, blah blah. But they still look like they could be beat. Like Jackson Dart still looked fine going against his team. Like he didn't look rattled or anything like that. And if they could, because they gave him somewhat of a fight, so that means the other better teams could give him a fight too. We've seen them be in close games with teams all year. Same with last year. They're not like utterly outclassing teams. And if Saquon is not going to be a 2,000-yard rusher, then they're not going to be a great team. Obviously, they have their great passing games in spurts, but those aren't consistent. Jalen Hurts, like the touchdown interception numbers look great, but it's not like on the back of him. Like Jahan Dotson's not mossing somebody every game. That's not going to happen. Like they've been featuring Smitty. It's been working, obviously, because Smitty is a great receiver, but you still got to get comfortable. And that's, again, not going to work on everybody. You just have to be playing the Giants, who doesn't have a secondary. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Good sign to see Saquon have the best game of his season so far. If they could build on that and the O-line could give him those type of holes again, then, yeah, we could see something that maybe it can make it easier. But I still think, like, they're in a log jam with the Rams and the Packers at the top of the NFC.
Max, my question was, are the Eagles the premier team in the NFC? Do you feel that way after their back-to-back wins against they beat the Giants and I forgot the other team, the Vikings. We got to talk about the Vikings at some point, honestly.
It is tough to pick against them right now, just in a one-game playoff situation. But I guess if the question is like the Eagles or the field, I'll take the field. I think that Detroit still poses a threat. I think that if you can catch Green Bay on a good day, I think Green Bay beats them. I think that Matt Stafford has been playing great football with two really good receivers. I think the Rams are a really good team right now. I really think there's a lot of competition out there. Seattle's putting together a great year, and so is Tampa. And Tampa seems to have Philly's number. So I think that I would probably go with the field on that one again. And I think that sometimes has to do with the quarterback position. Like Jalen Hurts had his big game. Don't get me wrong, in the Super Bowl, he had his big game. But there are other guys who can also step up to that moment in the NFC, I think, one being Matt Stafford. So I really think that there are other teams that I think could pose a big threat if they stay healthy. But, I mean, if the Philly defense can figure it out, again, it's young, it's a new unit. Like, if they can get pieces to work, like, this offense is always going to be good enough to put up points. It's just can the defense get stops? So, again, it's tough for me to pick against them. I think that they should be the favorites. But this is all going to depend on home field advantage too. I think home field advantage come playoff time will matter a lot as well. So I do think, and I've said it since the start of the year, I think it's the Lions' year to come out of the NFC. But I also did I have the Lions or the Rams? I don't remember now. But I had the Lions and the Rams both in the NFC Championship. I remember that. So I had both those teams out there. I think one of them gets Philly. So we'll see.
Why do you think one of them gets Philly? Why do you think
I
one of
just
those
think
teams get Philly?
one, I think it's just Detroit's year. I think Detroit's had enough. I think their defense again always gets injured, but if it is healthy, I think they're a good enough team to compete with Philly. And as the years gone on, the whole offensive defensive coordinator conversation hasn't really mattered much to me. The team looks fine. That team looks fine. They can be explosive when they need to. They can get stops when they need to. I'm fine trusting the Lions as basically the same team as last year, as they can put up points, and if healthy, the defense can get stops. I think Aaron Glenn was really good last year when it came to second and third string guys who had to step up. He was able to put a semi-cohesive unit together. But I really do think that coming up in this playoff run, if they can get healthy, I think they'll have home field advantage. I think they'll be fine. The Rams, I've always been big on Matt Stafford and what he can do when healthy. Again, the two receivers he has, he keeps anyone in the game. And the defense has been fine too. They just traded for another DB. I think they should, at the end of the day, if you can keep Matt Stafford healthy, him and McVay can put something together. But the defense has been solid enough for me to where I think they can get stops. And they were, one play away last year? Like, that still sticks in my head. You're one play away in a snowy game at the Link. I think that you still have a chance to repeat that if you could just put a better game plan together. So, and I agree. I think last year's Eagles team was much more competitive than this year's at that point in time. So I think that you catch them on a bad day, you catch Jalen Hurts on a bad day. I think both those teams could make it pay.
They also were one play away in their game against them this year. If they would have made that field goal, they would have beat that team. They missed two field goals. Not missed, but two field goals were blocked.
Block field goal was big.
But no,
is like 1 in a million.
Yeah, I feel like damn, Phoenix took it to overtime. Yes, I got Laurie and Devin Booker. Anyways, I just feel like Philly is definitely in that conversation as one of the premier teams in the NFC, despite their struggles this year. They haven't looked like a repeat champion pretty much all season. And outside these last 2 weeks against not the best quality opponents, honestly. But their offense has looked much better, much more creative, much more free flowing. Saquon has got some explosive runs where he couldn't do that for the first 5 weeks of the season. Smitty has looked amazing with or without AJ Brown. Now we got to see if they can incorporate AJ Brown when he comes back from injury.
Yes.
They're not gonna trade him. If they can incorporate AJ Brown and get him on the same page as Jalen Hurts, they can be a dominant offense. This is a talented offense that has played under their level for most of the season, but they still do have the talent. They have to marry all of that talent with the play calling, with a opportunistic defense. They have to combine all that, and they'll be back in the Super Bowl if they can do that. Now I do think I think I'm more confident in the Rams. Honestly, the Rams can get after the passer. They just made a move for a cornerback. Their secondary is still a concern, but they have the offense to beat the Eagles, and they can get after Jalen Hurts, and that's one of the big keys to beating the Eagles. Jalen Hurts has historically not been the greatest under pressure. If he doesn't have time to sit back and scan the field and make plays happen, then you can beat the Eagles. If his first read isn't there all the time, you can beat the Eagles. You can stop the run, you can beat the Eagles. So I think I'm not gonna lie. I think the Rams have a much better chance of doing it than the Lions. Much better is too much, but they have a better chance than the Lions are doing it. I don't really trust the Lions defense. They can't stay healthy. Their secondary is probably as bad. Not the secondary, but their cornerbacks are probably as bad as the Rams. Because hey, I hate to say it, Terry Arnold, not a great corner. I like DJ Reed. I like DJ Reed, but their secondary is a definitely a concern. But yeah, I think they are coached well though on both sides of the ball. So I think the Lions will be there, the Rams will be there, but I'll probably I have the Eagles probably as of right now. I was very confident in them last year, saying they make the Super Bowl, and again they haven't been as great as last year, but they still been pretty good. You says I see you have him here. Does Jalen Hurts deserve MVP considerations? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jalen Hurts,
I don't believe that.
yeah, Jalen Hurts has been largely average for the very large majority of the season. He should be nowhere near MVP conversations. And I've seen people, suggest that on Twitter because last few weeks he had 8 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, whatever he had. Like, bro, like, okay. I do want to talk about the touch push, man. I feel like
I didn't get this, by the way. I didn't understand this. I saw the Brian Burns comment afterwards. I didn't understand the whole situation about this.
So look, for forward progress, obviously, like at some point it does stop. With the tush push though, since they usually do it at the goal line, once you cross the plane, that's not a fumble even if they knock it down because once you cross the plane, it's over with. But he wasn't done moving anyway. So if they're going to be able to keep pushing him, like the defense is also going to be able to keep playing the ball. So since he didn't stop moving, what Kayvon Thibodeau did was just grab the ball out while they were still moving and got the fumble. Like that's technically a fumble. Like, compared like for the rules, like the refs just treated it as if like they were at the goal line, which that's not what it was. Like they, for all intents and purposes, they cheated. Like they cheated for just so that they can get that touch push off.
I think the tush push will be banned after this year, and it probably should be banned after this year. It just outside of it, like being not an enjoyable thing to watch, honestly, it's definitely unfair to the defense. The refs have done a terrible job this year of officiating it. It's so hard to see, and there's so many false starts. And then this game versus the Giants, where forward progress isn't called, and then Hurts fumbles, and somehow they say they blew the whistle. It's like the play isn't already well received throughout the league or with fans. And then you allow false starts, you allow forward progress to be called when it wasn't called. When you allow things like that, it's not going to go over well with owners, with fans. I think this is the last year that the tush push is going to be a thing in the NFL. And I don't think it's like, I think it's definitely a disadvantage for the defense. You're literally pushing. You have 2 people behind the quarterback pushing them, and they had a similar rule for like field goals where like they had something similar where they banned it because it was an advantage for the defense. But the defenses are already at such a disadvantage in football because it's so catered towards offense. Like you can't allow something like this to just be available for a team. Personally, that's what I feel. I don't really care about it, but I definitely see the arguments into why it's a disadvantage for the defense. Let's move on to the Packers. They came back versus the Steelers. It was a student versus a teacher in this game. Jordan Love playing against Aaron Rodgers on his new team. The Steelers. Aaron Rodgers had a great game, in my opinion. Really good in this game. Constantly so. I think he was good, bro. Maybe great is not the best word. I think that he was sold by his offensive line. His receivers didn't play well. Micah Parsons was in his lap the whole game, basically. He didn't have a lot of time. He made some really good throws. Fumbles, drop passes, a lot of stuff was detrimental for him. Jordan Love has been balling. He leads the league in EPA per play right now. Max, is Jordan Love a legit MVP candidate?
I'll say legit no, but I think he's in the conversation right now. Like I don't think he's gonna win it. I would not bet my money that Jordan Love wins the MVP. The inconsistencies can be too high and low at times. That again, he has these great games. Don't get me wrong, he has these great games, but the inconsistencies can definitely come and go very fast. I think when we talk about the Bears next game in a little bit, it's kind of the same thing where it's like every win is not always just a win to me. I take it with a grain of salt, and some of these close games still stick with me. Again, come from behind win, but against what teams are we looking at? So, like, I feel like when they play a team like Pittsburgh or play a team like the Cardinals, and it's down to the wire to come from behind win, like, what situations did you do to put yourself in there in the first place? Because the Cardinals aren't a very talented team, in my opinion. I don't think they're very good, and they almost beat Green Bay 2 weeks ago. I obviously think that Pittsburgh is a better defense, tougher team to play against, but it's still like some of the situations that come from behind wins, I think, are a little critique for me. Like I don't always understand that. But Jordan Love, again, when Jordan Love wants to play Jordan Love football, he is very good. But we have seen him fall back to earth so many times, especially in playoff situations where he just goes to being an inconsistent quarterback back and forth. I think this is probably the best situation that Jordan Love has had in Green Bay. Would you guys agree?
Yes, sure.
The best team that Jordan Love's had. So again, I'm not saying you have to win the Super Bowl this year, but going forward, I am moving with that. He's 4 years in as a starter, I think, 3 years in as a starter. So he's had a lot of time to develop, to grow. I feel like this is the year where we should see that takeoff, and we've been seeing that at times. But before I throw him at this, he should be in an MVP conversation. I think there are other quarterbacks who have been playing better football, and I think could be better players as a whole. So I would throw them above. I still would say Baker is a more valuable player to his team. I think Pat Mahomes, I think Josh Allen, 3 stamped should be better than him, above him in the MVP.
Sure, Baker's
Are they better than him, or it's MVP? Or are they playing better than Jordan
I
Love?
think they are more valuable.
Love.
I think they're more valuable to their team than Jordan Love is. Those 3 are, in my opinion.
The most valuable player every year is Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to win every year.
That's what I'm saying, and I still think with how they've played so far. Again, the eye test, whatever you want to say, like how they played so far, the wins they've had, I think those 3 players I would still put ahead of him in the MVP race.
Josh Allen in front of Jordan Love in the MVP race this year.
Yes. And that's the Bills are 5-2, and again, like you could say whatever you want about Josh Allen's numbers. I agree. Like they could compare. You could say Jordan Love's better, but like we all know. The reason they're 5-2 is because of Josh Allen. Like that is the reason they're 5-2.
Oh no, I watched James Cook go for 202 touchdowns yesterday.
So the reason that they won, they were 40-9. They didn't need the 2 touchdowns. That's the whole point.
They were 40-9 off the back of James Cook.
Josh Allen is the reason they're 5-2. We all know this. Josh Allen is the second best quarterback in football. Josh Allen, again, the numbers don't always pop out. But
like the second best quarterback in football this year. He was.
Yeah, he objectively hasn't been better than Jordan Love. Like
he was good against the Patriots. What? He was good against the Patriots.
Who?
Josh Allen. Nah. You don't think he was good against the Patriots?
Nah.
He got
didn't he have like 2 yards? You said you was arguing with me that Drake May wasn't clearly better.
that's for the argument. But he wasn't like you know what I'm saying. He had a bad pick.
Yes,
Botch
he did.
snap, like you know what I'm saying. Turnovers matter, bro. Like, it is what it
Okay,
is.
I guess. But he was definitely not good against the Falcons. And it's some other games where he just didn't have to do much. Honestly, because the running game was going
I
so
agree.
well.
I think the Falcons a terrible loss. The Falcons a
Immaculate
terrible
versus
loss.
the Ravens. He was immaculate versus the Ravens. He was great versus the Dolphins. I'm gonna say he was good versus the Patriots. The other 4 games he wasn't doing nothing. Or he was bad, or they lost because of him.
He didn't really, I mean, he only lost one of those games, but he didn't have to do much. Like, I don't know. The teams he's playing doesn't have to. Like, I think we all know. I guess that's where I'm like predicting the rest of the season. So sure, up to this point, Jordan Love's numbers look better. But it's like I know with the full season that I will still at the end of the year look at the resumes and say, I think Josh Allen had the better argument, I guess. Because I still think who does Green Bay have on the schedule coming up? Like Green Bay has kind of had a cakewalk up until this point.
Cakewalk is strong. They beat the
Commanders. Defensively, if you want to, but they played the Browns bad. They played the Lions, the Commanders, the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Cardinals, and the Steelers.
The Commanders were not bad when they played them.
I don't think the Commanders are a good defense.
The Lions weren't bad when they played them either.
I don't think the Commanders are. I think the Lions is a good win. Don't get me wrong. I think the Lions is a very good win. I'm saying defensive aspects.
The Browns are a great defense. They're like the best defense in the league.
Huh?
The Browns have literally the best defense in the league.
That's what I'm giving. I'm saying like the Lions win was good. The Browns defense is good. But if you're saying that the Commanders pass defense, the Bengals pass defense, the Cowboys pass defense,
the Bills haven't played anybody crazy. Like the Bills haven't played a tough schedule.
That's where I literally just said I might be projecting rest of the year. That's what I'm saying. I might be projecting rest of the year.
Don't fall on that tough schedule nonsense. We're gonna talk MVP because it's gonna backfire later on.
I'm counteracting.
I still got to bet on them to not win. They can't lose or tie one more game, right? You have them at 13?
Yeah, 13. What you mean? They only lost one game.
Or the Packers.
They only lost one game.
Okay. Are we gonna talk about the Patriots? The Patriots beat the Browns.
Yeah.
Oh, we are. Oh. Wait, why is it? Oh, it is on here.
Yeah.
Wait. There's. Okay, I forgot to add it on here. I'll put it on there. As far as the Steelers, let's just talk about them real quickly. I came into the season saying that the Steelers defense was not going to be that great, and I was 100% right. I was 100% right. This defense just has names on a jersey. They have like great names. They have Jalen Ramsey. You hear Jalen Ramsey, great player. They got Darius Slay. They got Patrick Queen. They got J.J. Watt. They got Cam Hayward. They got Alex Highsmith. They have a lot of names, but the defense is genuinely not good, especially against the pass. They are really bad against the pass. Those players are all up there in age. They're older. They're regressing. Even T.J. Watt is regressing. Hasn't gotten pressures like he used to. Hasn't beaten double teams like he used to. Just hasn't got to the passer like he did in previous years. And he's probably been regressing for a season and a half now. The defense is just not good enough. And in years past, their offense hasn't been good enough to win them games. Now, Aaron Rodgers is having a pretty good season. He's putting up games where they should be winning, and their defense is letting them down. Like they should have, their offense played well enough for sure to have this game much closer. But Jordan Love and the Packers are having their way with the Steelers. So it's actually a really funny contrast because for most of the last decade or so, basically this decade, they're being led by their defense, and now it's kind of flipped because their defense has been living off of takeaways. Like that's how they were thriving earlier in the season, but they weren't actually that great on a play-to-play basis. Like right now, the Steelers defense. Let me look. Oh, they're still ninth in EPA per play. I don't know how they're scamming that, but from what I've seen, let me look at the yards per play. Where they at?
Wait, did you not have any stats pulled up to back up that I was right?
I did not. I did not.
That's one of those things where you don't really.
That's not like you at all. That's not like you at all.
Yes, but I watch these games. Oh wait, wait.
Got him.
I was looking at it the wrong way. They are the 21st ranked defense. Because I pressed EP replay and they went to 9, and they actually
check what they were last year.
Okay, I got you. Hold on. I gotta say this for TikTok though. The Steelers are the 24th ranked defense in EPA per play this year. They're 24th in yards per play. Let me see what they are against the pass. Wait,
man, they really blew it with the Bengals loss. They needed that Bengals win just to like stay afloat because the back half of that schedule is tough.
Against the pass, the Steelers are they're 25th against the pass as well. This is not a good defense. It's just not. They were thriving off takeaways early in the year. It's caught up to them. They're old. They're washed up. They're not great, and they're costing their team a game because Aaron Rodgers in the offense has been pretty decent this year. The Steelers are going to continue to live in mediocrity as long as this current regime is in place, and they're never going to bottom out, and they're going to get an actual great quarterback. They're never going to have an actual great team because they refuse to hit the reset button. And they need to. But yeah, that's I said the Steelers defense wasn't going to be great. Let me look at last year too. I know e-paper play wouldn't fail me like that. I'm like, what's going on? I ain't no way. Because my eye test came VF messed up. I don't know. Like 9th would have been crazy. 2024. They were top 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. The Steelers, I thought they were going to make the playoffs just like obviously as a wild card. I didn't think they were going to win the division. And then it kind of looked up for them with my Ravens going through the injuries that they went through, Lamar missing games and whatnot. But they weren't able to capitalize on the quarterback injuries in the division. Joe Burrow went down and Lamar Jackson went down for a couple of games. And they still weren't able to really bridge the gap. They actually lost to Joe Flacco on the Bengals. Like they needed that win badly because the back half of their schedule was brutal. And then Laurie got 50. They need to go 6-4 just to ensure that they win the division with a win coming over the Ravens, which I doubt is going to happen once Lamar get back. So yeah, they're dead in the water, 9-8, like you said, mediocrity. I do think they could get a quarterback in the draft at where they would be at in the draft in this specific draft. But maybe, but I just don't know. Mike Tomlinson got to be said about him. This is the most expensive defense in NFL history, and then they're not really getting the juice from it. Obviously, these names weren't worth the squeeze, so something got to be done. A change has to be made. I think his time has run the course. Mike Tomlin, I'm not saying they should fire him, but they should mutually agree to part ways. As for Packers, I think Jordan Love clearly should be in MVP conversation. Obviously not 1 or 2, but there's only been 4 quarterbacks for sure better than him this year, and that's Patrick Mahomes, Drake May, Matthew Stafford. And then I'm not going to say Daniel Jones, but Johnathan Taylor has been clearly one of probably the 5 best players in the league so far this year. That's it for that. Like I said, they should clearly be like one of the contenders to come out the NFC. He's playing well. Top 10 in yards, top 10 in QBR, top 10 in passer rating, 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Kind of still up there with the turnover worthy plays, but that's because he likes to take deep shots as for like, the average depth of target. But he hasn't been bad. Like he's been objectively very good this year.
Yeah, I think Johnathan Taylor definitely got to be in there. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go next? Do we want to talk about?
We could hop into John. Don't we? Oh no. Let's keep it at the end. We could do the would you rather right now though, if you want to.
I want to know. Do you guys want to talk about the Bears losing to the Ravens, or do we want to talk about the Patriots and Browns game? Both are intriguing options. I'm not gonna lie, both are intriguing to me.
I feel like they're intriguing for different reasons, though. I don't know.
No, I think both of them would be really good content. Let's move on.
Talk about the Bears.
The Bears and Ravens game happened like the most recently. That's what we'll talk about. Okay, the Bears lost. Yes, but one happened at 3:00 and one happened at 12. If I'm not mistaken, right?
We played at 1.
They both played at 1.
Okay, my bad. I think it felt like that because the Patriots game it was already decided at a certain point, and then yeah. The Bears, they won I think 4 straight games. Throughout that 4 straight games, honestly, Caleb Williams didn't look the best. They were really thriving more so off their running game. The defense made some big plays at times, and then they come into this game probably pencilingly in a win without Lamar Jackson on the field. Ravens defense has been terrible this year, been banged up as well, and they lose 30-16. Offense put up 16 points. Caleb Williams put up some stats, but it was a lot of it was against soft zone when the game was already decided. Max, I want to ask you this. Okay, it's your time to shine. What is your confidence level in Caleb Williams being your franchise quarterback at this moment?
I mean, as opposed to any other option, confident.
That's not what I'm asking.
Any other option? I don't know what you want for a confidence level. I don't have. I don't think I have
10,
one.
Out of 10.
Huh?
Out of 10. Give me a number out of 10.
A 7 or an 8. Like again, I think the inconsistencies are glaring. I think the inconsistencies are so large at times, but the talent is as well. Like there are plays where Caleb looks phenomenal, and then there are plays where he can't accurately throw the football. So that is the biggest concern for me is stringing together plays to effectively get the drive going. Like we have drives where you go all the way deep into the red zone and then you settle for 3. And it's not a Ben Johnson thing. It's just you get 4th and 5, 4th and 6, and all of a sudden now you can't go for it at a 4th and 2 or 4th and 3 spot. So some of these plays just like you can string together a bunch of great plays and you can't capitalize. It's the biggest issue for this offense. So it's the biggest frustration having 2 straight drives, go to the red zone. You put up 3, only for them to have 1 play back and they get 7. Now they're up 1. So the capitalizing in the red zone is huge for me. I don't know. It's just, it doesn't seem to be working at times. Again, Caleb is still young, but that's excuse won't be living for much more. He's about to be a second-year quarterback going into his 3rd year. The inconsistencies can't be there as they are. Ben Johnson, honestly, I like the offense he's been running. It's been effective at times. I do think that he's getting guys open. Caleb just not hitting them at the time. So I was never really, maybe you can call me out. Maybe I said something, but I don't think I was ever super confident on this Bears team after the 4-game stint. The way they won those 4 games were not very convincing to me. I think the only one I would say that probably was Dallas, but even Dallas doesn't have a great defense, but barely squeaking out a win versus Washington, barely squeaking out a win versus Vegas. And then again, we beat New Orleans last week, but if you watch the game, there were so many more points left to be scored. There were so many more opportunities that Chicago didn't capitalize on. So from those issues, I mean, Chicago's defense is also number 1 in takeaways, I believe. I think we might have the most takeaways in the league. Is that true?
It's up there with like Jackson.
Yeah, we have a lot of takeaways right now. So again, there are a lot of aspects to our football team that is working. And if Caleb is to string it together, I feel a lot better about this team going forward. But he has time. It's just getting out of the pocket, scrambling, decision making. Like that once you blitz, when people blitz, it's just every time the pressure, he can't react to pressure. So I really don't know what's going to fix at this point in time. I just have to keep giving it more time and letting it grow. But yeah, it's the inconsistencies are definitely the most concerning part of this 7-game stint we've seen so far.
I don't know. I'm still holding out hope for Caleb. Honestly, I think he is really talented as a football player. He has these plays where he makes excellent throws, but a lot of the things in terms of being a quarterback, I think he's not the best with. His accuracy isn't great. I don't think his touch on throws are great. I don't think his footwork is great. His mechanics as a whole aren't great. And Ben Johnson is honestly
disgusting.
Yeah, Ben Johnson is scheming up pretty easy things for him. Even though some like the screen passes and the passes are flat, they're not extremely accurate. Where a running back or a tight end or whoever's in the flat will have to stop and make an adjustment, and they're not picking up the amount of yards after the catch that they could because of the inaccuracies of his throws. Caleb Williams, through 2 years or through a year and a half now, has performed like a below average quarterback. And that's the best way I can put it. Am I calling it a career for him? Like, am I like, am I closing the door on his career? No, but it is very hard not to look 2 picks later down in Foxborough, and you got a guy in Drake Maye who the Bears allegedly laughed at. They allegedly laughed at him as they were watching his film. That guy is playing like one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the entire NFL. You know what they say, man? Karma is a B word. Karma is a B word. And if that's true, actions like that have consequences. And I think we're seeing the consequences of those actions right now with Caleb Williams continuously struggling in games. They are not 4-3 or wherever they are because of Caleb Williams. They are 4-3 in spite of Caleb Williams' struggles this season, in spite of Caleb Williams' inconsistencies this season. Again, I think he is a really talented player. I was very high on him coming out of college. I was very, very high on him. I said he was one of the most talented quarterback prospects ever. And so I definitely don't want to see him be bad, for one, because he plays in Chicago. For two, above everything.
You a Colts fan.
I'm not a Colts fan. Above everything, what do I want to be? Right. Above everything. I don't care about what it can be. It can be about a player I love. I want to be right. I don't care about it. Like that's a lot of my agendas just come from wanting to be right, and I want to be right about Caleb. Like I want to be right about Marvin Harrison. So I need him to play better. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think a few weeks ago I would definitely be more confident, and I think he still definitely has a good chance to become a really good quarterback. He needs to improve his footwork. He needs to improve his touch, especially on deep ball passes. And he's still missing layups. He's not Anthony Richardson bad, but he's definitely struggling. So that's my take on Caleb Williams. Q, what about you?
I disagree with you. I think they are 4-3 because of Caleb Williams. Because if he was better, they'd be 6-1 right now. Like the Lions game, they got utterly outclassed. But they could have beat the Vikings. Like they could have beat the Vikings, and they could have beat this Ravens team. Like they held us to 16 points through 3.5 quarters. It only ended in 30 because Caleb threw a pick basically out of his own end zone and then another pick at the end of the game, and they just capitalized on points. It wasn't supposed to go down like that. They had plenty of opportunities to score, and he was just missing things. He can't hit, like you say, he can't hit the check downs and these players in space to allow them to get the extra yards. Ben Johnson became a great OC based off timing and rhythm with Jared Goff, who was hitting, just making the right reads and letting Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams and Jahmyr Gibbs go and do their thing after the catch. Ben Johnson's trying to cater that same thing to Caleb. All he had to do is hit the easy stuff, and he just can't do that. What makes people hold on is you see that scramble in the backfield and then go ahead and hit DJ Moore down the field, and you're like, oh, that's special. Now everybody, obviously not, there's not 10 quarterbacks in the league that can probably make that throw. And that makes you want to keep holding on. But at the end of the day, we got to just keep it a buck. He's just not that good right now. Like, he has flashes, but he's never really consistent. And like I said, they could have been a lot more games if he was just above average. Not asking him to be his draft mate, Drake May. Just be the 15th best quarterback in the league, and they're 6-1 right now. And they just not getting that right from him right now.
Hey man, Max, I hope things turn around for you, bro. I want you. I really want you. I mean, you just won a championship with the Thunder. You'll be all right. Never mind.
No, the Bears, the one I talk about this. I talk about this on Bear Win or something. Like if this Caleb thing like actually goes out in the flames, like I need to take like a break. I need to take a break from like letting the Bears actually like do this to me every year, to where it's like I honestly think that Jaden is obviously super optimistic and I'm the opposite. So on every Bears outlook, but I still get like that hope where it's like, oh, this could work out.
Jaden
like,
kind of giving up. Jaden kind of giving up too. Jaden is kind of giving up.
If he's giving up, then it's like everything's done.
After the episode, he tried to he wanted to say that he wasn't like he was accurate and more accurate than Drake May. Pull up the numbers. He still was skeptical throughout the game. He just kept saying it like, yes, Caleb stinks. And I said this, I'm like, this is around the same time last year where your season went downhill. 4-2 with the pivotal game with a team that you can beat and clearly could have beaten. You lose, and that's the end. And that just turns your season.
And this season's much worse, in my opinion, because you had the cakewalk early, and now it's like you get into a gauntlet where it's the Lions again, the Packers twice.
But Philly. You still should be able to beat the Vikings. The Vikings are they're a very good defense. They're not
we should be able
to still beat the Vikings. You should still be able to beat the Joe Flacco Bengals. But I can't trust that y'all can't.
Understand, but that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, cool. Let's say hypothetically we win the games we're supposed to win, which we probably won't. Which is just give us the Bengals, give us the Vikings. I'll even split because like I don't think that we're gonna win these next 4 games are winnable. Next 4 games are very winnable.
I'm probably losing both to the Lions and Packers. I'm not gonna lie.
We already lost the Lions.
Yeah.
These next 4 games are very winnable. The Giants, the Steelers, the Vikings, or the Giants, the Steelers, the Vikings, and the Bengals. Those are all winnable games.
If you don't leave out that stretch 3-1, your season.
I agree, because the only other game I'm confident in us winning down the line is the Browns, which we lost to 2 years ago, last year.
Y'all would need that would put you at 8 wins.
Not good enough. There's going to be maybe a 9 win, but there's going to be at least, I think there'll be 3 10-win teams or 2 10-win teams to play out, like in that wild card spot.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. I said coming into the year, I said 8-9 or 9-8. I don't remember which one, but
hey man, good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck. Next.
All right. No, not next. The Ravens also won this game, so we got.
I agree. I think this is a more interesting outlook out of this whole thing. I can't lie.
Yeah, we about to.
I think it is. Yeah, why would we ever doubt the magic of Snoop Huntley on the Ravens? Acting like Snoop Huntley has not done this time and time again.
All right, the Ravens have finally got back Lamar Jackson. He'll be returning Thursday. So let's predict their rest. Let's predict the rest of the Ravens schedule now that Lamar Jackson has returned from injury, and let's see if they'll make the playoffs, or if you predict them to make the playoffs. All right. So the Ravens are what, 2-5?
Yes.
The Ravens are 2-5. They probably have to win like 10 games to make the playoffs. So week 9 at the Dolphins.
Win.
Week 10 at the Vikings.
Win.
Week 11 at the Browns.
Win.
Week 12 at home versus the Jets.
Win.
Week 13 at home versus the Bengals.
Win.
Week 14 at home versus Steelers.
Win.
Week 15 on the road against the Bengals, and Joe Burrow will probably be back.
Win. They won't, because I'm not hearing that because they'll probably be out the playoff race. But even if he did, win.
Week 16, this might be a good game. At home versus the Patriots.
Win.
Drake May. Week 17.
I'm a little worried. I'm not a little. I'm very worried. But win.
Week 17 at the Packers.
Loss.
Then week 18 at the Steelers.
Win. That we end off 9-1.
Yeah, so 11-6. So you're predicting to go 11-6 and make the playoffs.
No,
hey,
I take that. I take it. I think we finish 10-7 and still win the division. I don't think we go 9-1. I'd probably say 8-2. So you could give them a loss, and either the Pats loss or the last Steelers loss. One of those two, probably an L.
I mean, they have the talent on offense to do it. Lamar Jackson is a top pick quarterback.
That's all I'm worried about. I think if he's back, I think if we have Lamar Jackson back under center, I think we were able to reel off games like that because we pretty much did that at the back half of last season. We were like 3-4, and we ended off like on an 8-2 stretch. So it's possible we've done it before.
I actually do not want to talk about the Cowboys or the Broncos. I really would just like to do it in a contenders or pretenders segment and just throw the Broncos in there. Then we can really get our thoughts on the Broncos out. All right. I want you guys to tell me if these teams are contenders or pretenders. First team up is going to be the Denver Broncos. They're 6-2 right now in first place in the AFC West.
There are pretenders. I do not care about the contingent of Broncos fans that hate us. They're not contenders. Bo Nix is not a consistently good quarterback, especially throwing down the field. I don't think Sean Payton trusts him, even though he's telling everybody that he does. I don't think they have enough on offense. Their defense is very good, but they're also injury prone. Pat Surtain out for probably about a month. Jalen Greenlaw does come back, but I think you still think he needs a lockdown corner. I do not think they're good enough. I think they will get hawked down by the Chiefs in the division, and they'll be a wild card team again and get smacked by whoever they see in the first round.
Pretenders. Thank you, Q.
I'm gonna say pretenders. Their defense is really legit, but I don't trust Bo Nix on gotta have it downs. I don't trust his accuracy. I think he leaves plays on the field. And if you can stop the run against the Broncos, you can definitely beat the team. The defense, their defense can definitely keep them in any game, though. I think their defense can keep
Denver fans hate us already. I agree with what Q said. Denver fans hate this already. We already slandered Denver.
Next team up is the Colts.
Pretenders. I think they're a much better football team than I expected for sure. That I was wrong on that, and I'll still claim it. But I'm not going to overcompensate by saying that they are contenders. I don't believe they are, so I'll go with pretenders.
I like that. You're not going to overcompensate. They're pretenders. This is still Daniel Jones. We don't have the tracker to him in the playoffs yet. Great team, great season, historic offense. I would like to see in the playoffs first. But yeah, they're pretenders as of right now. I just don't trust them over Patrick Mahomes, and I still think the Bills are a better team than the Colts.
Man, listen.
Come on.
As of right now, I'm going to say contenders. Their offense is one of the best in the league. It's like we haven't seen Shane Steichen take an average quarterback to a Super Bowl before. It's like we haven't seen it.
Mind you, when I said they're a quarterback away from contending in the division, Latif Love said, "Hell no, they aren't." That's what he told me. Like he told me
Hey,
that.
I am
And I explained every single reason, same way I explained to you, Max, why they would be a quarterback away from being somewhat of contenders in the AFC end of the division.
I
Everything
I am
do right.
occasionally wrong. I am occasionally wrong. So I'm not.
Occasionally, it's crazy.
I'm occasionally wrong. Now I think the Colts have an amazing offense, spearheaded by Johnathan Taylor. Daniel Jones is playing the best football of his career this year. They have the receiving options with Tyler Warren, Josh Downs, and the whole cast. Their defense can get after the passer. Now their secondary is not great whatsoever, but if they can make a move for some pieces on defense, I feel a lot more confident about them being contenders. But just of how they're playing right now, until I see them like look like they're not belong on the field with one of the teams, the best teams in AFC, then I'm going to say they're contenders. Now, because
I think
this feels different than the Vikings last year. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of feels a little bit different.
why?
Because their offense wasn't this good. It wasn't like this is the Colts offense has been historic to this point. Like historic. I think the Vikings defense is definitely better. But
And the quality of teams aren't the same this year.
yeah,
Like the Colts, if they see a team in the first round, it's probably going to be the Steelers. Like it'd probably be the Steelers, or maybe the
NFC is
Chargers.
NFC is the better conference for sure.
Yeah, like they can
Yeah,
win it easily.
The game against the Chiefs in 2 weeks is going to be definitely very, very telling. We got to see how they perform against the Chiefs.
in all fairness, last year, 3 of the first 4 games by Minnesota was Houston, San Fran, and Green Bay. All wins.
I personally was never high on Houston, so that doesn't mean anything to me. And San Fran also.
Is that 2 playoff teams, right? 2 playoff teams. San Fran got injured at the end of the year, right?
They were never good throughout the season.
Yeah, they weren't. All right. Next team up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I think they're contenders. I think when healthy, they're one of the 3 best teams in the NFC.
It's tough because I do think that if the draw comes their way, they've shown they can compete with Philly, and they've shown that they can compete with Detroit. In a 1-game situation, I would probably roll with both of the other teams besides Tampa. With the 3 teams we said so far, I would say that they're a contender compared to those guys. I do think they have to get healthy, which is the issue, which kind of makes me a little hesitant. If Mike Evans can get back for a playoff run, if Chris Godwin can get healthy, I think this team has a puncher's chance in anyone's fight.
I'm going to say pretenders. I just think I think I'm more confident in the Rams. I'm more confident in the Eagles, and I'm more confident in the Lions. They definitely are probably the 4th best team, I think, in the NFC. The defense was improved. It has been improved. They just haven't been able to stay healthy. The Mike Evans injury looks very, very concerning. Chris Godwin hasn't looked the same. So their weapons are depleted. Bucky Irvin will be coming out from an injury. Buka is going to be great, but Chris Godwin hasn't been great. Evans is out indefinitely. I think might be out for the whole season. Bucky Irvin will be coming back from injury here pretty soon. But their weapons just have been depleted, and Baker is not on an upward trajectory right now. We got to see how he bounces back. He bounces back, but last game wasn't the greatest, and he's had a few games this year where he's been pretty average. Next up, the New England Patriots, 6-2 right now.
I'll go with pretenders strictly off of experience. I think that Drake Maye, before I can call this team a contender, I need to see more from Drake Maye in a playoff situation. In a playoff situation, I just said that in a sentence. I have not seen Drake Maye in the playoffs before, and I still think that adds more to. Obviously, Drake Maye's had a great year so far. I think this offense, Drake Maye's been balling, but it does not have the weapons, I think, to compete with other teams out in the AFC. I still think the Bills will beat them and take the division crown. I think that there still is a lot left to be interpreted with this team. The defense is good. Drake May is good. But the weapons room, I don't think we'll be able to carry them to a Super Bowl. I think the O-line still has issues.
No, you ain't see Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs before he got there either. But go ahead, Q.
I agree. But I also saw him in a playoff situation before, no?
No, I'm saying you didn't see him in the playoffs before he got to the playoffs the first time.
You could say that about anybody. That doesn't make any sense.
That's not my point, bro.
That's a dumb argument.
What's my point? What's my point? What's my point? Go
You're
ahead,
saying they're contenders.
No, I'm not. They're not contenders. I'm
gonna say pretenders. The roster, like Drake May's he could very well win MVP. I fully believe in Drake May. I don't really care that we haven't seen him in the playoffs yet. Like that doesn't matter to me that much. You can look at his he don't know what he don't know, so he could go out there and just light up the team on fire, and that's just what it is. But I just don't think the roster is there yet. But it's good signs. I think they can win a playoff game, but I think once they get into that division round, it's going to be a little bit stickier with teams and quarterbacks that have more experience and that are currently better than him right
now. The Patriots are probably they're a decent team. I think they're a decent team that they're a decent team that is getting propelled by their quarterback and coaching staff. And as far as the talent on this roster, I think is just decent. Like the offensive line isn't great. Weapons room isn't great. The running game is bad. The defense is okay. Okay. Defense is not great either. Like they're okay team. That's getting propelled by a soft schedule, a great quarterback, and a great head coach. That's the Patriots this year. That's going to do it for contenders or pretenders. Well, no, let me do this. Last seeing the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm gonna say they're pretenders. Their defense is elite. I love their defense, but their offense, even though statistically they're one of the better offenses in the league, I think they're too big play reliant, and they also don't have an efficient running game right now. So it's going to be hard for them to put up points against the better teams, like going up against the Eagles, the Rams, who usually move the ball well on them. Even the Packers, I think they can match up well with them. And then the Bucks, we see them. The Bucks, depleted, have go down with a shootout with them and beat them. So yeah, I think they're a very good team, but they're pretenders.
If I'm on the fence with Tampa, I cannot take Seattle. I would call them a pretender. I'm taking Tampa and Green Bay both over Seattle, in my opinion. They've had a great year so far. I agree the defense is very good, but Sam Darnold fooled me last year. He's not going to fool me again. Fooled me. That's crazy, actually. I didn't believe him in the playoffs at all. I just thought the team would be better than it was.
I mean, they're not contenders, but they're probably, honestly, right where the Bucks at, damn near.
I think I'm taking the Bucks and the Packers over them, and I can't have 5 teams as contenders. And
did they beat the Bucks or no? No, they lost to the Bucks.
Bucks beat them.
Their defense is great. They were down. They were injured in that game, but their defense is great. They were down some corners. I think the defense.
They was injured, but the Bucks weren't.
The defense is great. Sam Darnold is playing the best football of his career, probably. Got one of the best wide receivers in the league. Mike McDaniel is a great head coach. Clint Kubiak, great offensive coordinator. They're a really good team, but they're not a contender. They like a step down from that. No one wants to play the Seahawks in the playoffs. I guarantee you that, though. They're going to be a very tough come playoff time. I believe so. Unless Sam Darnold is just a lemon, which I'm not going to lie. He potentially could be. We didn't talk about the Patriots and Browns yet. Okay. I'm not tripping. Patriots dominate Browns in second half. We got to talk about this. All right, let's do it. Patriots dominated the Browns in second half. Drake May had another great game, and continuing his MVP campaign. I believe Q wanted to ask, is he a top 10 quarterback? And then we can talk about the Browns situation and what they should do going forward. Max, we haven't really got your thoughts on this. Do you think Drake, I don't remember you saying so. Do you remember Drake? Do you think Drake May is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL?
I think Drake Maye is playing like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL for sure. Is he a top 10 quarterback in the NFL? That's a conversation at the end of the year. I need to get a full synopsis of everything from this year and how it plays out. Talent-wise, though, I mean, again, I think it's one with Jaden last year where you get high on a guy. He's obviously dealt with his injuries, but has kind of fallen off a little bit this year. But a lot of it is due to injuries and not playing healthy. He's been good when he's on the field. But like Drake has been in the MVP conversation. He's been very valuable to his team on the ground, passing the football, some dumb picks here and there. But I mean, this is all you could ask for as far as a second-year quarterback. So I truly do think Drake Maye currently is playing like a top 10 quarterback. People throw him in the top 5 conversation. You can't really fight it there. I think there's a lot of good quarterback play going around right now. It's just a week-to-week basis. At the end of the year, I think I really need to see. But there are a few quarterbacks who I'd really want on my team over Drake Maye. I think Drake Maye's a stud, and he's playing like it, and especially with his situation. Again, he's got a good defense. He has had a favorable schedule.
Defense? Nice that. I think the defense is not good.
I think the Pats defense is like it's not like a black
hole
hole
defense, but I think that's
schedule
kind of inflated.
My issue is that he is playing with how bad his offensive weapons are. Diggs has had good games, but he does not have a good weapons room in the slightest. And I think that, again, his defense is competent. You can say what you want about it. His defense is competent.
They're not playing. They're playing bad offenses.
I'm just sure whatever you want. I'm just his offense room is not competent at all. The defense, I think you could put a good offense on it and it looks a lot better. This offense, this weapons room is not good at all. Like it's not, and Drake Maye is putting it out to win. So I agree. The schedule is favorable, but
yeah, I mean, as far as the defense, like they don't have any edge rushers. I
think. Are you not thinking they're going to be buyers at the deadline? I feel like everything
they're looking for an edge rusher. And they're looking for a running back.
I feel like that's everything I've been seeing is they're going to be buyers at the deadline.
But yeah, as far as Drake Maye is definitely a top 10 quarterback. The only hesitancy to really stamp him there is the smaller sample size, but there are not 3 quarterbacks in the entire NFL playing better than he has this year. And I don't think like playing at this level with the talent he has around him, with the lack of running game, all that type of stuff, that's not something that just happens for 1 year and just falls off. So as long as he's staying on the field and healthy and stuff like that, I do feel like he's a top 10 quarterback. The only reason we're not saying that probably is just because of the sample size. But he's been the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, and it's not just underneath throws, and not just design rollouts. He's making incredible plays every single week. He has been the most accurate deep ball thrower in the entire NFL this season. Has been able to do it on the ground with his legs. Has done it with a underwhelming offensive line, underwhelming running game as well. He's looked very excellent. He took a big jump since last year. He showed flashes last year, but this year he's putting it all together. So the only quarterbacks I'm really comfortable putting ahead of him is Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Herbert, Burrow, Stafford, Dak. That's it. I'm not gonna lie. That's it. Those are the only quarterbacks I'm comfortable putting over him as a quarterback. And people are gonna raise their eyebrows at Dak because we underrate him for some reason. But those are the only guys. And I will say though, he can't pass that for sure though. But those are the only guys that I'm really comfortable putting over him at this moment. And Dak just had a bad game, so that's gonna look crazy to say. But Q, Maye a top 10 quarterback. Do right and kill everything.
Huh?
Do right and kill everything. The boy.
Nah, as you know, like Drake Maye, I've been a fan of Drake Maye for literally for the past 4 years and some change. Obviously, I think he's the top 10 quarterback. I'm a traits guy. He's built and he moves like some of my favorite quarterbacks. Obviously, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert fit that mold. Great arm, mobile, knows how to lay throws. The issue with him was just that he was young, but all you gotta do is get him reps. He had the reps last year. He got a little out the kinks, and I disagree. I don't think the weapons room is horrible. I think they have a bad running game, but as a whole, the weapons group is slightly below average. Diggs is cool. Keyshawn Butte, everybody associate him breaking out because of Drake May, but if you knew who he was, especially coming out of LSU, he was supposed to be a first-round pick. He always had the talent. He just needed a quarterback to get it to him. He's a deep threat. Obviously, if you got Mac Jones, you're not really getting nothing deep, but you got somebody that could throw on the ball. Hunter Henry, always been a solid tight end. Pop Douglas has his flashes, so they have a solid weapons room. It's not anything too crazy, just enough where Drake May can elevate him just a little bit higher. Matt Collins, too. Matt Collins, they're solid receivers, 8 touchdowns last year in Buffalo, like 500 yards. So there's a solid group, and the line holds up just enough. But Drake, he can be able to do things with his legs, get him out of trouble. I don't really care for the small sample size situations. Obviously, you could see that he's just better than most of these dudes, more accurate, more poise in the pocket, mobile. Like I said, so like same list that you said that you take him over, like that you take him over. That's probably my same list too. Obviously, it'll probably be conventional wisdom after this year, after he takes the Patriots to the playoffs. Nobody really like feel any type of way to put him in the top 10 conversation. So yeah, I think he's a top 10 quarterback.
All right, let's talk about the flip side of this, because the Browns definitely don't have anywhere close to a top 10 quarterback. They have probably a top 10 worst quarterback ever step on the field. That might be hyperbolic, but Dylan Gabriel has been awful. He's been the worst quarterback in the entire NFL, bar none, in his time in Cleveland. Is it time for the Cleveland Browns to give Shedeur Sanders a shot at the field? I think we said by week 8 or so.
I said for Miami game.
Okay, that was a few weeks ago. No, last
that
week
was at the start of the year. At the start of the year, I said he should start after they should bench Flacco.
Last week. The Miami game was last week.
I'm saying at the start of the year, I said they should get him at the Miami game. I said let Joe Flacco play for like 6 weeks, let Shedeur do his thing, and then start for Miami at a bad defense.
Damn, we wasn't even gonna let them start Dylan Gabriel.
Predicts the future. He can't play.
So is it time to start Shedeur, Maximus?
I mean, I don't think it really matters at this point in time. I don't think this team, honestly, I think if Shedeur can come out and ball, I think there are some pieces on this team to be excited about, and their defense, obviously. Sure. I think you got to give it a chance. Maybe Dylan Gabriel's a rookie. I don't think anyone can expect him to be this great guy. It doesn't happen all the time. You've got to obviously go through your steps. But at this point, what do they have to lose? So I think that, sure, it's like a little premature to say that Dylan Gabriel can't play. He sucks, whatever. He is still a rookie. Had a couple touchdowns, but I can't call him out just yet. It's been 4 starts. But the Browns had nothing to lose in starting Shedeur or bringing him for a game.
He's poop. Dylan Gabriel's poop. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't even care to be harsh. He's bad. I would say though, I was never for the conspiracies and the this and the third and killing the Browns. I'd only say if you took Dylan Gabriel, then you should have never took Shedeur Sanders, because everything is going to be skewed towards. If you was going to take Shedeur Sanders, you should have never took Dylan Gabriel, but they took Dylan Gabriel, so they didn't want Shedeur Sanders. They just ended up taking Shedeur Sanders. But then everybody wanted Shedeur Sanders to somehow jump the pecking order and go in front of Dylan Gabriel, even though he didn't get drafted in front of Dylan Gabriel. And it was constant coverage on it, but we never done that before. That's never how the NFL worked. Unless he was showing them up in camp, and that just wasn't the case. That didn't happen. But at this juncture, we got 4 games of tape on Dylan Gabriel. He's not good. The Browns need to find a quarterback. They don't know if they have a quarterback in their building. They need to start Shedeur to see what he can do for the rest of the year, so they know whether they have a quarterback or they need to go be drafting one in the draft coming up. That's all it is for the rest of the season. They see when they got Dylan Gabriel ain't the answer. Maybe Shedeur is the answer, or he isn't. But they have to see that, and they need to see it as fast as possible. Obviously, they traded Joe Flacco, who clearly could have won some games for them, and they didn't need that, so they shipped him out. Got Dylan Gabriel's reps early, and now they could just finish the rest of the year with Shedeur Sanders. They're not going to go back to Dylan Gabriel because they already got the tape on him. So, yeah, it's time.
I was never a fan of the Dylan Gabriel pick I didn't think it made sense at all. Dylan Gabriel was never going to be an NFL quarterback. He's like 5'8". He has a below average arm. He was only accurate really on like scheme up throws, RPO, screens, all that type of stuff. He only can hit his first read. Not only is he small, he's unathletic as well. That's a complicated. That's a combination that you cannot have. You cannot be small and unathletic. You cannot be both, bro. That's just not gonna work for you. Like I don't know, bro. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's not good enough to be a backup. Like he's just not. This is not even controversial. This is just the truth, bro. They should definitely give Shedeur Sanders a chance, but I'm not banking on him being great either because I don't think he's that great of a quarterback prospect. But also, this situation is just terrible. Their weapons room isn't good. The offense line isn't good. They do have a solid rushing attack with Quishon Junkins. And Harold Fannin Jr. has looked good as a tight end. But Jerry Jeudy is just don't get me started. I'd trade him in fantasy. Terrible. And I mean, what's bro name? Elijah Moore. Is he even on the team still?
Elijah Moore, he's in Buffalo.
Okay, see, I don't even know who the wide receiver on the team. Oh, Isaiah Bond, my guy, actually. My boy. Wish he wouldn't have left Alabama. This way he get. But anyways, yeah, the situation is not gonna be good for Shedeur either. Like even when they put him in, and he's not gonna be really set up for success. But at this point, that's not an excuse anymore. If he gets a chance, Shedeur has to go out there and kill. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is gonna be his probably only opportunity to actually show that he could be a starting quarterback in the NFL because they're likely going to draft a quarterback in the draft. Even though the class
move like that though. I think the narrative was going to be like Shedeur got sabotaged by not him starting right away.
Yeah,
like
I kind of
wasn't a fan of the discourse because they made it like the discourse made it seem as if like they were doing wrong by Shedeur by like drafting Dylan Gabriel or something like that, as if like he wasn't on the team first. Like I just felt like if we just followed how all of NFL history went, like the discourse should have just never happened. They made it seem like they did him wrong in some type of way, which just didn't happen. Like you had he had opportunities to play for to be on other teams. He just landed on the Browns because his pops was telling other teams not to draft him. He could have been on the Eagles or the Ravens right now. Like he would have started games for the Ravens, and then probably possibly got traded to somewhere else.
I also want to talk about. I think at this point that Kevin Stefanski is a good head coach. I don't think he's a head coach for the Browns. This team is not good enough for him to win, but also I don't think he has gotten the best out of this offense over the last 2 seasons. I don't think he's pretty much got the best out of his offense in a very long time in terms of them scoring points. Even Joe Flacco, he was scoring. He was like throwing touchdowns, but he was also throwing interceptions. Really volatile. I think it's time for them to part ways. Honestly, he needs to go to somewhere where they have an already established team, a decent roster, and he can turn it around. Because I think Kevin Stefanski is a good coach, but I do think his time is up in Cleveland, and I think that they should part ways mutually.
I'll take him right now.
And I think
right now.
Yeah, and I think that the whole regime in Cleveland just needs a fresh start, honestly. So yeah, it's kind of like almost like the Mike Tomlin thing where these guys are good coaches, but it's just time for a new fresh start, basically. Last topic of the podcast is going to be a Johnathan Taylor. Would you rather? He's like an MVP candidate. His best season of his career. Three seasons ago, he had a great season. Was a top 5 running back, and then he's been on the borderline of that because he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Blah 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 blah. Did you have a would you rather?
Yeah.
All right, what's up?
All right, we'll be doing a Johnathan Taylor. Would you rather? First name up, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Johnathan Taylor.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I appreciate Jahmyr Gibbs' versatility, but I think that Jonathan Taylor is an every down back, and Jahmyr Gibbs, while he probably maybe can do that, he hasn't shown it. Jonathan Taylor is probably the best pure rusher in the NFL right now, and still offers equity out the backfield. So I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor.
I 1,000% agree with what Latif just said. I do think Jonathan Taylor, if we're going pure running back, who I would rather have is I would like the dual versatility of Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
Is that not fair? Like as a pure runner, yes, Jonathan Taylor's, especially with Saquon injured, whatever he has, whatever he's been doing this year, doesn't matter. Jonathan Taylor is the best pure runner in the NFL. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm saying, for my personal opinion, who I'd rather have as my running back. I like the dual upside. I agree. We've not seen Jahmyr Gibbs take over an entire role by himself. That still is. We won't see that because you still have Monty there. But, what were you gonna say, Q? Sorry.
I just said I'd rather 2,000 yards from my running back than 14. But that's just me. Next name up, Josh Jacobs.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor, clearly.
Next name up, Derrick Henry.
Jonathan Taylor. I think Derrick Henry still is really good. The fumbles have been a problem this year, especially early on in the year. I think that Derrick Henry is at this point in his career a little bit more reliant on good quarterback play. Like, I think he's more reliant on
bringing back the take, huh?
Just
so you bringing back that take?
No.
You ready to dust it off?
I think Derrick Henry really benefits from having Lamar Jackson in that backfield. It's pretty clear. Like, having that dual threat ability, you can't really you have to assign a defender to Lamar Jackson at all times. So that helps him for sure. It's more than the other way around too. Like, he benefits more from Lamar than Lamar benefits from him.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Jonathan Taylor. Great pure rush. I think he's one of the most efficient rushers in the league. Great pure rusher, and I think he's a better pass catcher than Derrick Henry too.
For sure. Next name up, Bijan Robinson.
Bijan.
I'm going Bijan. I think that if his team, it's close, it's very close. I think that he really offers that dual threat ability, and he's like every down back as well, like kind of like what Jahmyr Gibbs does, but better.
Yes.
Better route runner than Jahmyr Gibbs, better pass catcher than Jahmyr Gibbs, better runner than Jahmyr Gibbs,
better pass blocker than Jahmyr Gibbs.
better pass blocker than Jahmyr Gibbs, better vision than Jahmyr Gibbs.
Hey, this was not a Jahmyr Gibbs versus Bijan Robinson. Would you rather?
No, I think that Bijan is probably the best running back in the league.
Okay. James Cook. Mind you, on a per game basis, he's better. He's been the best running back in the league and already had his bye. But
James Cook?
Yeah,
James Cook is the most underrated running back in the NFL. But I'm going Jonathan Taylor.
I'm going Jonathan Taylor as well.
Last name up, Saquon Barkley.
So that's the issue. Are we going like this year Saquon or like Saquon as a whole?
Who would you rather?
I'm going Saquon Barkley.
I'm going healthy Saquon.
The Eagles' interior offensive line has been way worse this year. It's been banged up and just not performing as well. So it's hurt him as a runner. But I'm still, as of right now, going to give the edge to Saquon Barkley. We'll see how it goes on throughout the season. But he's still very, very dynamic out the backfield. A great rusher as well. And I just can't – he put up a historic season last year. Now, JT is on pace for a better one. So we'll see. But I think a lot of his falling off this year, while he has lost a step a little bit, is just because of the interior offensive line. Max.
Sorry, I thought I said something. I'm taking healthy Saquon over JT for sure.
We don't even know he's injured. You said,
if he's questionable on my fantasy team, I'm gonna assume something could be up. So when he's
Hey, man,
playing.
shout out James Cook, my boy, my running back in fantasy in 3 leagues, man. Shout out my boy, man. I really love James Cook, man. All right, that's gonna do it for episode 158. We're gonna be back with some basketball, maybe some NBA draft stuff. We'll probably do 2 more videos before this week ends, and then we'll be back next week. Love y'all. You've made it this far. We are